Hello everyone, I am here with OpenLedger and the CEO Martin CRILLESEN. Is that correct?
Yes.
That is correct. So let's just jump straight to this Teamtalks interview. Martin, what is your role on OpenLedger?
Well, first of all, unfortunately, I can't claim to be the CEO. I'm a business development manager here at OpenLedger, and I'm situated in Copenhagen, where we're trying to penetrate basically the Danish and the Nordic market with blockchain solutions.
Great, that sounds good. And what would you say OpenLedger's key features are?
Well, first of all, OpenLedger is basically blockchain agnostic, which means that we try and help companies find the best possible blockchain solutions for whatever their need is. So I think that's one of the key priorities we have to really be focused on the actual need, and even start by actually figuring out whether it's even blockchain they should look to or just more traditional software development.
So you are actually handling companies' blockchain development and also looking at if there is a possibility for a blockchain solution that is viable.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so let's jump straight to the competition part here. Who do you see as your competitors, and where do you see OpenLedger having an edge towards these competitors?
Yeah, so I think, so one of the competitors is, for instance, a company like Consensus, and it could also be IBM. And I think Consensus is very much Ethereum focused, and IBM is very much Hyperledger focused, while again we're more agnostic. So I think that's one of our key competitive advantages, that we are very flexible in regards to these different platforms. Traditionally, we've worked mostly with BitShares, which is probably one of the best old blockchain that's still kind of unknown, but it's been working running solidly for the past 5 years without any issues. It has a high throughput, made from microtransactions, so very low fees. But again, we're looking very much also to Ethereum, of course, which is where most fundraising projects and ICOs are run. We have some experience with Hyperledger as well, and I'm now looking very much at EOS also.
Okay, that sounds interesting. Let's go to Team Tenacity here. How big is your team, and what are your future plans for team expansion?
Yeah, so right now, like in Europe, we're something around 75 people. Here in Denmark, where the company is basically headquartered, we are only 3 people. So I'm here in Copenhagen. We have our CEO of Aalborg, who is traveling all the time, so he's not really, he's doing the global expansion. I'm doing the Danish and the Nordic. And then here in January, we have another Dane who's currently living in Spain, but she'll most likely be moving to Copenhagen as well to be part of the team here. And then other than that, we have all our developers and the marketing team in Minsk in Belarus. Okay, and how big would you say the team is right now, person-wise? It's around 70-75.
70-75 persons, so it's a pretty big team.
It is,
and are you looking to expand in any specific direction towards sales, marketing, development?
We are, yes. Of course, we're always looking for our development office in Minsk. We're always looking for new developers, trying to stay up to date with the demand and everything. Yeah. But here in Denmark, as soon as we start getting a bit of traction, right now it's a matter of actually maturing the market, kind of educating the larger corporations, big organizations on how to do these blockchain projects. Yeah. But as soon as that's mature, we'll be going full scale, sales and onboarding more salespeople here in Denmark as well.
Yeah. So right now you're talking with the big corporations maybe, and you're trying to make them understand what they need and so on. And then when they start seeing this, and then you can start really selling to them, then you will hire more developers and salespeople to make it come
true. Yeah. True. So the development team is very flexible, right? So we have partners to ensure that we can take in large projects, and then we collaborate with other companies around it. But of course, we try to have as much as possible in-house.
Yeah, that sounds good. Okay, so let's move on to the foreseen future here. Mm-hmm. Where do you see OpenLedger in 1 year?
So in 1 year, I see that we have probably done the first pilot project with a large organization. It could be, I don't know, like a NGO like Red Cross, for instance, or maybe some insurance company or accounting companies. That's my hope, at least, that we'll be doing a pilot project. And then, of course, again, just having penetrated the mindset of both governance, business, finance, everything here in Denmark and the Nordics, where blockchain is something that you are looking very seriously to for solving your infrastructural software issues.
Okay, so that's really interesting. It sounds like you're already, like you also said before, very active in educating companies, corporations, and the government in that they need these solutions, that there are viable solutions they can use, and that the next you will deliver the product. But it sounds like you're very active, so that's definitely interesting.
Yeah, for
so
sure.
If we look a little bit further into the future, let's say 10 years, in a positive scenario, but also realistic, where do you see OpenLedger at that point?
10 years, that's a long time in the blockchain space.
I know.
Well, I mean, again, I see blockchain as, it's basically the infrastructure of everything that has to do with large amounts of repeated transactions of data or assets or whatever. So in 10 years, I imagine that a lot of ecosystems has been created on the blockchains. Like supply chain is probably one of the really interesting use cases right now.
Yeah.
I truly believe that in 10 years, by far, if you don't already have your supply chain partners on a blockchain solution, then you're irrelevant.
Okay.
So that's definitely an area that's moving fast. I also think the whole accounting space, they're starting to move now. They're realizing that they can be out of business if they don't start to adopt this technology and kind of be front runners. Yeah. So I think the whole accounting industry will look very, very different. And of course, we'll do our very best for OpenLedger to be part of that whole journey. Yeah.
And I was also talking before with the Nordic Blockchain Association. We were also talking about some of the blockchain use cases. We were also mentioning use cases like shipping, like voting systems, and also like data storage, like to have your privacy. You have now Facebook that had of course a lot of problems with having control over your own privacy, your own data on the internet. Do you also see these as viable? Do you also see viable solutions in these branches?
Yeah, certainly. I mean, we've actually already done a blockchain project with a German company called CRILLESEN, which is basically it's like Skype but encrypted. So again, all about anonymity. Not fearing to have third parties kind of barging in on your conversations and if you have important business meetings, right? I mean, being certain that you can actually have the confidential talks online in a private space. Yeah. So anything with privacy, for sure, blockchain will definitely play a big part in that. That's for sure.
That sounds good. I love my privacy, so I'm very happy for that. And Martin here from OpenLedger is going to help develop that, so I'm very thankful for that. And I'm also thankful for him taking the time to talk and doing a team talks here with me. And I hope you will check out the project. OpenLedger.io. Where do you have your homepage?
That's our exchange.
That's your exchange.
And then we have all our portfolio of the different projects and things is on .info.
.info. OpenLedger.info, and of course Twitter and all these places. You can also check it out.
Certainly, yes.
Yeah. Thank you, Martin, for taking the time, and I hope to speak to you again another time. And good luck with OpenLedger.
Thank you very much.